Hey, how's it going? So, this is actually my second take. I didn't really like the first one I did, but we're going to be going over two CVEs I found for AgentDVR. The version I am testing in this video is actually version 4.7.3.0. However, the one I originally found it in was the latest version at the time. That is Agent DVR 5.1.6.0. I believe anything after 5160 should be patched. It should be safe. And I believe any version below 5.1.6.0 is likely vulnerable as long as the features of audio upload and backup and restore are available. So these are CVEs, CVE 2024 22514 and CVE 2024 22515. The 22514 is the remote code execution. The 22515 is the arbitrary file upload vulnerability. So we'll be going over each of those in this video. And also, as a side note, this I tested this on the Linux bare metal installation, the Docker installation, and the Windows installation, all 64-bit. I believe that's all they offer for installations, and it works on each of those types of installation. If you're doing a Windows, uh, if you're attacking a Windows installation, by the way, don't do this to any server you don't own. Only do this on stuff you own. Obviously, I'm not responsible, that kind of stuff. But if you're running a Windows installation, the later on you're going to see that we upload a .sh file, and we first call bash, and then we call bash to run that sh file. Um, if you're doing it on Windows, you can actually just upload. You can use something like MSF Venom to generate an exe. You can upload that exe, and you can just execute that exe directly. You don't have to. I mean, Windows, you typically you can't really call bash on Windows anyways, but you don't have to. You can call the exe directly later on. And when we specify that file path, just get rid of the bash part and just change that to a .exe and call it. And that's just because if you were to upload something like an ELF file onto a Linux box, I couldn't really. There might be a way, but I couldn't really uh, get it to chmod plus exit. To change it to an change to an execute, make it executable. So you bypass that calling bash to call the script. And I think that's all I wanted to go over. The impact of this is all authenticated, so you have to have credentials for the server. If there's a external facing server running a vulnerable version of AgentDVR, and you have credentials for that server, or if the server has no credentials, you can get a reverse shell, root shell on that system, maybe running in a Docker container, which is I would recommend running in a Docker, and if possible, run it as a low privilege user in a Docker container would be ideal. Um, but default installation instructions have you install it as root. It may need root access. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't gotten into the nitty gritty on installing it as low privilege users, but just default installation, this is how it goes. So if you see me pausing during this, it's because I want to follow the steps. I posted a GitHub write-up, and I want to follow the steps in order, because you can do the steps in kind of a couple different orders, but I want to do it preferably in order of what the GitHub says. So we'll start off by adding a camera. So you're on this dashboard, and you can just go up to the top left, the server menu here, and you can do new device. Just click the grid slot. You can do video source, accept defaults, and you're going to change this just for simplicity. You're going to change to a dummy, accept the defaults. And next, you're going to go over to the actions. You're going to add a new action. And you want this action to be if a photo is taken, and you want it to do a task when a photo is taken, and you want it to execute a command. And for the file, these are all .bat files. So it shouldn't matter which one you do, but just to follow what the GitHub says that I wrote, you're going to do alerts on. Click OK, click OK, and click OK. Next, so next we're going to go over to terminal. And we're going to create a payload.sh file. So nano, and you can see I already did this on last shoot, but you're going to edit a payload.sh, and this file will be in the GitHub. But basically, it's just a very simple reverse shell calling back to our port 4444, which will be our listener. And you'll have to edit this IP to match what your setup is. So config, if I can type correctly, ifconfig, I'm going to be doing listening on 8.0 on this local IP. So we'll edit that, go over here, clear that out, put that in there, save that up, and now you've got your payload. So you can do, this is the first CVE. I don't have the number memorized, but this one I'm about to show you right now is the CVE-2024-22515, where you can upload any file. So file upload, audio, you're gonna go to where your SH file is, you're gonna go down here and just do all files, select it, and click open. You can see file uploaded, so that is now in there. Now the problem is it's in the audio folder. And I actually worked on this problem for a while. I was sitting there messing with it, and I'm like, I have a payload on the server. That's great, but how do I execute it? And I ran into kind of a hurdle there. Like, it seemed like it should be easy, but it ended up being very challenging to get it to execute. And partially because it's in the audio folder, and you can trigger audio files, but it only shows the audio files. It won't show any executables, and I couldn't really get it to execute. But what I found was you can go to Backup Restore, and you can first download the backup file here. So we got that downloaded, so we can unzip the agent. And then we can edit first you can peek inside of the config.xml. So if you peek inside here, you can see that this is the file structure, and this can have a little bit of variation. I think on Windows, it's just C/AgentDVR for the file structure, and then /sounds. For a bare metal Linux installation, if I remember correctly, I believe it installs it under a home folder, and I'm pretty sure this shows up in the home as the home folder, so it'll say like where to look. So we can take that, and we can go to edit the object.xml. And that's just, if you already know the file structure, you don't have to do that. That's just so we know what to expect in the file structure. So we're going to come over here to this parameter here near the bottom of the file. We're just calling this alerts.onBat. We're just going to change that over to /AgentDVR/sounds/ and then we have the payload we already uploaded, and it's payload.sh. But we actually need to call bash to call it. So we're going to put in just kind of an arbitrary number of backticks just to get to the root. Then we'll do /bash. So we're going to call bash, and then bash is going to call that script. So we'll save that up, we'll close it, and then we can go ahead and start our listener. So we'll just start netcat 4444. And next we're going to go over to the upload function, We're going to upload that objects.xml, and this will restart the dashboard, and it should be all set and ready. So we've got our listener going, and you just right click, click take photo, and it should trigger that sh file. And it did. So we are now in as root. And we're up in the AgentDVR folder. And so that's pretty much it. Now you have read access on there. And again, the impact of this is potentially remote code execution on a server. And I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. So thank you, and I hope. One more thing I'll add is I hope to when I get some time, I want to make a box, like a Vuln Hub box or something of that sort. So that should be fun. I'll probably make that one a Windows, since this guide goes over the Linux side, just to kind of mix it up. I'll do a Windows box, just so you have to be kind of adapted a little bit. So, but hope you have a good one.